it's Trina, and today I'm talking about books that take place within a 24-hour time period. This video is paid promotion for Disney-Hyperion in celebration of their release of Kill All Happies by Cohn. This book released on May 2nd, so it should already be out by the time that this video is posted, and this is a YA contemporary novel about a girl in high school who's about to graduate high school and she wants to throw this one last bash for the graduating class in her school. It's going to be this wild party. She's hosting it at a local restaurant named Happy's. That is where the title of this book comes from, and she really hopes that this party will be great for her friends, and she really wants to hook up with her crush at this party for the first time, but she really does not want to get caught by one of her teachers. What she does not realize though is that this restaurant has a large fan following, and so as her party is going on, a bunch of local fans of the restaurant start showing up in droves, and this party becomes a much bigger event than she ever anticipated. I have not read this book yet, but one thing that really captured my attention in the synopsis is that as the party kind of grows in size and gets out of control, the people start to storm the abandoned amusement park behind the restaurant. And does an abandoned amusement park not just sound really cool to you guys? I don't know what it is, but that just sounds really fascinating to me. And another thing that sounds really interesting about this book to me is that the whole story takes place within just a 24-hour time period. I have flipped through this one, and something cool about it is that the beginning of every single chapter gives you a timestamp of when that chapter takes place, and then tells you in relation to when the party is going to happen. Is this 3 hours before the party starts? Is this 5 hours into the party? That format is something that was attention-grabbing to me. It made me interested in this story, and I want to see how a story like this is going to play out in just 24 hours. So inspired by this short time frame that this book takes place in, Disney-Hyperion asked me to come up with a list of other books that take place in just 24 hours and include really cool adventures. So the first book that came to mind when I thought of a 24-hour adventure was a new one, but I've got a couple older ones on my list too, but that is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. This one just came out at the end of last year, and it is about a boy and a girl who meet on one day. Natasha is an immigrant from Jamaica, and she and her family are actually being deported on this one day, and our other character Daniel is a Korean American boy whose family has a lot of expectations on him about where he should go to college, but he does not have any interest in living out and fulfilling what his parents' expectations of him are. And they end up running into each other, and the story just follows them over the course of one day. It's actually about a 12-hour time period as they get to know each other, and this one is a YA contemporary romance, and the cool thing about it that I really liked is that these characters were such opposites. Daniel is a lover, he's a poet, he's a dreamer. Natasha is very scientific minded, and she doesn't think she believes in love. And so there is a case of insta-love in this story, but I thought that it worked well because when you're dealing with a story that is stretched out over a very short amount of time, you're spending a lot of time with those characters, and that actually lends more development to that kind of insta-love trope, in my opinion. I really did feel like I was spending so much time with these characters that I really could see why they were interested in each other. I really enjoyed this book, and I would definitely recommend it if you haven't read it already. The next one that I can think of that's also kind of similar to the whole themes and everything of The Sun Is Also a Star is The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight by Jennifer E. Smith. This is another YA contemporary romance novel, and this is about a girl whose parents are divorced, and her father is about to get remarried, so she is flying to her father's marriage, and in the airport she meets a cute boy and they have a conversation, and then it turns out that they end up on the same flight together, a seat apart. So they spend the entire flight talking and getting to know each other. Well, this book is another one that has the timestamp at the beginning of every single chapter, and I did really enjoy the layout of that story. I really enjoyed how cute it was. If you're looking for a quick, fluffy contemporary romance, I would definitely recommend this one. And I have read all but one of Jennifer E. Smith's books, and The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight is definitely my favorite one of hers. The next two books that I have to recommend to you guys that do include 24-hour adventures are kind of cheating on this list, but I definitely think that they fit with this. So the first one is Just One Day by Gayle Forman. This is a book about a girl who is on a college trip. She's in London, and then she meets a boy, and they decide to go to Paris together and spend just one day together. Now, contrary to what a lot of my friends have thought, I had a conversation with some friends recently, and they thought that this entire book takes place in just one day because that's what the title leads you to believe. but it's only about the first third of this book that takes place in that 24-hour period where they are spending that one day in Paris. The rest of the book takes place over the course of a year, and it talks about the ways in which that one day affected our main character's life. So technically this book takes place over the course of a year, but there is such an emphasis on that one day and how it changed her life and how it really affected her that I definitely think that this does include a 24-hour adventure. And as for that day spent in Paris, it was quite an adventure. It is quite a romance. This book is not just a romance though. You can see in the repercussions of that day that the main character does go through a depression, and that was something that really impacted me. I felt like it reflected some feelings and thoughts that I had gone through when I was a teenager, so I really have a great appreciation for this book. The last book that I'm fitting in here as a 24-hour adventure is Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. It takes place over the course of 7 days, but the main character is reliving just one day over and over 7 different times. So technically it's only taking place over 24 hours. The main character we follow is like one of the popular girls in school. She's kind of a mean girl, and she experiences something at the end of this one day, and the next morning she wakes up and it's the same exact day. And by reliving that day, she starts to learn a lot of stuff about herself, her friends, her peers at school. Something that was really fascinating about this book to me is that the day would repeat itself like word for word. She knew everything that was going to happen minute to minute, hour to hour, but one day she would spend time getting to know this one person that she had never spoken to before, and then the next day she'd go and meet another person, and over the course of this story she learned that there are going to be people in your day, any day of your life, that you don't interact with that have just like their problems and their burdens and their struggles that you will never even know because you don't get a chance to talk to them. And so I really enjoyed how this book explored her living that day fully and really understanding all the events that led up to the things that happen at the end of that day. So if you have liked any of the books that I have mentioned, or you like the 24-hour time period setup, Kill All Happies is a book that you may want to check out. If you have a favorite book that takes place within 24 hours, please leave that down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the comments. Bye!